Hello everyone, and welcome to my UK Royal Family News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. What occurred on Days of Our Lives this week, unfortunately took somewhat of a secondary lounge to what's been occurring in the background. In spite of the fact that we've been giving an account of it all along, now is the right time to discuss not just what it's meaning for the cast and team, yet in addition watchers, like you, appalling charges. While attempting to sort out how to help the current week's platform, I was unable to envision handling it without talking about what's been happening over at Days of Our Lives. We've been following the genuine story with crushing sadness, and keeping in mind that the majority of us possibly became mindful of the circumstance when first it came out last week. For the people who have been living it, it's been unfurling for quite a long time. Farah Galfond this week got serious about managing it a long time back, when, as Farah Fath, the 19-year-old was on agreement as Mimi. The claims she and others have held up against co-chief maker Albert Allaire were terrible enough when first they became exposed. However, to figure out that so little happened to the examination that the cast felt they had no response except for to unite as one with a requesting change is dampening. Nobody ought to need to work or live under the circumstances depicted, continually feeling compromised, awkward, and terrified, apprehensive that to stand up will prompt discipline. The #MeToo development might have started a long time back, yet all at once it's rarely finished. While I'm happy the cast feels engaged now, it's terrible that it came to this point. Media outlets has been going through an exceptionally open, excruciating, yet in addition much required commotion of late. However, it seems like dramas have been avoided with regard to the conversation, even as their own financial plans have been cut deep down and the entertainers are supposed to turn up for work without protest or chance having their positions and the whole sort just cleared out. The Times of Our Lives cast has started calling for change. Yet will they be heard? As we post this piece, Ariane Zucker has affirmed that they're actually sitting tight, no doubt, significant move to be initiated. Allaire got a token punishment as a composed advance notice, yet clearly that can't be where this finishes. What could be finished? I realize people have been looking at boycotting the show and dropping their Peacock memberships considering the upsetting and alarming claims, and I can surely grasp the desire. It's equivalent to people looking at dropping their streaming memberships in fortitude with the entertainers and journalists' strikes. It's hard to know what to do when all we need is to utilize our restricted ability to assist the show and individuals we were thinking often about. We feel the drive to accomplish something that will make it clear to the people pulling the strings that business as usual isn't adequate. Something should be finished, and that something includes rolling out exceptionally enormous improvements. However, is boycotting a show or dropping our membership to a web-based feature actually the right move? Or, on the other hand, does that cause what is happening in which we're unexpectedly rebuffing the very individuals we need to help? I grew up watching cleansers, from youthful and fretful and one life to live as a youngster, to finding as the world turns at the last part of its life. And afterward, I began working around here similarly as the 2008 downturn began redoing the daytime scene. I have such a lot of regard for this type, yet I've seen too many dramas deserted by networks that lost confidence in them. This little show called Days of Our Lives that I've been covering for Soaps.com can make me insane. However, I likewise love it. Also, I suspect, assuming you're understanding this, you could feel something very similar. The cast and group at Days of Our Lives have been pushing through this for a really long time since they need to work. They love their positions, and they love being there for us. The least we can do is something similar. They've battled through their own battles to make a big difference for Days of Our Lives, and it depends on us to make it clear to Peacock that this almost 60-year-old cleanser has esteem. However, we don't believe that rest should become extremely durable. We maintain that it should be an impetus to make something better for everybody. All of us will watch the appear through changed eyes currently, knowing that regardless of whether Allaire is expelled, the show shoots such a long ways ahead of time. It will be some time before we'll see that change pondered our TVs. We will dissect scenes, thinking about the fact that they were so awkward to shoot, examining ways out and firings, and considering the number of were a result of this harmful climate. What number of entertainers were pushed out or felt they needed to leave? What number of stories were affected by the behind-the-stage occurrences? In any case, by the day's end, it depends on us to help days of our lives and the entertainers who've been giving it their all push past this troublesome time and ideally on to an obviously better future. Also presently, on with the show. I talked to Peace last week about partaking in the beginning of the twofold weddings and keeping in mind that it had a great time minutes as it loosened up this week. It additionally felt like somewhat of an affront for Staby fans. Wins scarcely even saw them to Dimitri when he was sorry for sharing Gabby, and Stefan's wedding was right on target. The huge couple that ought to have had a fantastic wedding transformed into an untimely idea. Is this a harbinger for them being ill-fated or simply a botched and open door? I'd express there's going to be an excess of relationships, yet there is definitely not a solitary one of these weddings or recommendations coming up. Eric/Sloan, Xander/Chloe, EJ/Nicole, Gabby/Stefan, Gwen/Dimitri, that get an opportunity of working out. Also, I truly wish some of them did. Melinda is turning into a real individual. Also, she's gone from nobody resists the law to simply relax, best friend, I got your unlawful dealings. However, I'll go with it. She and Sloan both required companions, and their more grating edges function admirably together. I'm considerably more amped up for her and Lai after this week, yet Wendy, come on. Your siblings doing what you needed and continuing on past Gavi, and you burned through no time in undermining that. Give the man some breathing space. Plus, being enamored with the DA when you have a major mystery wrongdoing in your back pocket could be somewhat valuable. Simply an idea. We're at last facing Victor's passing. Maggie attempting to get Xander to accommodate with his uncle was a certain sign. However, what's more, spoilers have at long last found his destruction. Furthermore, that is something I have an inclination we'll get into a lot more before long. Mysteries emerge, recognizable appearances return, and something like one sentiment is by all accounts in hot water as we check out at the times of our live spoilers for July 31 through August 11. Sarah gets a deal even as her mother gets a shock. Things get rough where Kristen and Brady's guardianship fight is concerned, and Inconvenience could be preparing at Bayview. Peruse on for every one of the most recent subtleties. Kristen gets the sort of greeting that she can't actually decline, since it includes showing up in court. In maybe the most unastounding move ever, Sloan figures out how to play with Nicole and EJ's experimental outcomes. In the meantime, Eric is circumventing advising everybody that he is so eager to have a child with the lady. Channel tells Abe he's memorable certain everything soon, despite the fact that she may very well be making guarantees that the universe can't convey. Wendy encouraged her sibling to move past his waiting affections for, and fixation toward, Gabby. In any case, she's not especially excited that he is by all accounts investing a huge amount of energy with Melinda. Sloan is very great at staying quiet, but she chooses to come clean with somebody about Nicole's pregnancy. In any event, being in recognizable environmental factors doesn't appear to assist with refreshing Abe's memory. Harris runs into an intimately acquainted face in Bayview. Chad trusts EJ, while Alex updates Stephanie on the subtleties of his date. It's an important day for Nicole and news. She gets some that is fairly surprising, yet additionally has the opportunity to share some. In the interim, Melinda corners Sloan to say she knows precisely exact thing she's been stowing away. How might Xander respond to the extremely enormous blessing Maggie requests from him? At the point when Trip awakens, he will be exceptionally astounded by what, or who, he tracks down in his bed. Indeed, maybe the real truth is out in the open. Which feline? The one which Bonnie's been attempting to leave hidden. Since today, Maggie figures out the thing Sarah's been stowing away. The uplifting news. Sean is at long last getting back to work. the terrible news. He's actually feeling unquestionably regretful. What will his inner disturbance mean for his capacity to work at work? It's an overall clinic gathering of sorts when Harris and Ava, played by that other Cleansers alums Steve Burton, ex-Jason, and Tamara Braun, ex-Carly, end up holding at Bayview. Inconvenience could be preparing for Alex when Stephanie persuades Yuri that he ought to get back to Salem. Stephanie and Chad, who haven't precisely had a simple go of it, are going to hit one more obstacle. What's she bringing him out throughout this time? Rex has a recommendation for Sarah. Obviously, what we can't resist the urge to puzzle over is whether it's less a suggestion and more a proposition. Abby's at long last back home where he should be with his genuine family, so why not find every one of the Carvers, Costs, and in the middle between with our photograph display of his and Paulina's family here. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.